other book, The Art of Timing. Mm-hmm. Right now, timing, you can get it down to a very minute level, and you can also look at it in terms of going forward and slowing down. You want to talk about timing?
Oh, yeah. The Art of Timing was our very first book. In it, we gave the bone structure, as it were, the knowledge that Johanna grew up with, because we had no idea what the success of the book would be, and we just wanted to make sure that this knowledge survives. Basically, it deals with aspects of knowledge that are also put down in the Old Farmer's Almanac. These people, this family, they knew exactly when to do what, and that was all-pervading. It was a matter of daily life in all its aspects, right down to when to cut your fingernails so that it become really strong and you don't need any chemicals or whatever to make them strong, to when to have wisdom tooth removed so there's no after bleeding, or when to prune fruit trees so that next year they bear abundant fruit. They knew all those things and they all worked. And maybe it's a good idea to just mention why they knew it. Because it was a matter of life and death. These people were forced by their lifestyle as farmers, as mountain farmers especially, to live very economically and very frugal with all their resources, mental, material, spiritual. And they couldn't afford anything, any influence on their life that weakens their health, that weakens their spirit, and at the same time, they were extremely sensitive to anything weakening effect. And just to give you an example, that was one of the reasons why, even though they had all kinds of animals, pigs, cows, chicken, they had meat on their table only on Sundays. Because on Sunday, they could afford the weakening effect of meat. They had milk to drink, never. They never drank milk. They had milk to make butter, which is really, really important, and also to make the odd cake here and there. But they never drank milk because of that lifestyle. They knew that milk brings about those micro-inflammations of the joints. Everybody knows that sometimes, when you're in the evening, when you have that warm glass of milk, it's not that it gets you to sleep quietly. It deafens you. It deafens the senses. When you get up in the morning and you feel a little bit pain in the lower back, then you shouldn't be surprised because the kidneys and the liver had to work hard to get rid of all that animal protein. Okay, that's just an example. This family, they knew what weakens them. They knew what strengthens them. And because of that, they adhere to these timeless pieces of knowledge that we wrote down in this book. It still works. Everything works. I'm a city dweller until the age of 36. I had no idea that this knowledge exists. I'm the best example that it works. Actually, Johanna made sure that I find out. She didn't want to have a ghostwriter. She wanted me to be really writing from experience, and that's why she gave me homework and said, in half a year from now, you call me again, and then we see how you fared with what I tell you.
Oh, interesting.
It was great fun.
Sometimes people are just dropped on the planet to make a difference. Yeah. The Picassos, the Leonardo da Vinci's, the Galileos.
Yes.
But it sounds like this grandfather who was deaf.
Yeah.
Where did he come from in terms of that knowledge?
It probably is not possible to tell you exactly from what planet, but it seems that it's not our planet, because he was really, really unique in many ways. And when he died, thousands of people came together because he had, in the course of his lifetime, he had helped so many. And he was a specialist. Outwardly, he was a specialist. He was a healer. He was a specialist in taking away pain. When really things were too painful because you broke a leg or you got shot because you were a poacher. In those days, there were still poachers. Then he was a specialist in taking away the pain until everything was fine, until the bones were aligned and until the wounds were bandaged and so on. That was one of his outward specialty. But he also was somebody who could talk, as it were, to healing herbs. When there was a very special problem, a disease or a unique disease and very difficult to heal, then he knew exactly how to talk to a plant, that the plant knows what to do with that patient. And this knowledge is not possible to put it into writing because it's a very individual thing. He was a true healer, and every true healer knows that the patient is a unique case. There are no standards possible, standard procedures. We are no machines who work always along the same standards, even though sometimes the facts speak differently. But nevertheless, it's true. This grandfather, he was deaf, so he was only on a mental plane with Johanna from day one. From the age of 1, Johanna was put into his room because she was screaming all the time as a baby, and that's something that farmers cannot stand, is not possible. So they put her as a solution into grandfather's room because he was deaf, so he wouldn't hear the screaming. The thing is that the moment she was in his room, she stopped. That's how the apprenticeship started. It lasted 15 years. Mm-hmm.
Now there were
this was a very special person.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now there were 10 children in that family.
Yeah.
Did they all wind up with these skills?
They had all the opportunity. But there is probably because there is this natural law, where there's a lot of light, there's a lot of darkness. When you are in a situation like that, it seems, from what I've read and from what I've experienced in my lifetime, the moment you are being given a very special capacity, a special talent, you are tested all the time. There's all kinds of additional temptations upon you. And in this case, it led to the fact that 8 of her sisters and brothers married very worldly partners. And it's as if their upbringing and the talents that they brought into this life and that they were gifted with, they vanished over time. Only one brother was able to live it and to expand on it, and that he's a physical therapist. And today, people from all over Europe come to him. He just does a massage here and there and just a little bone crunching, and then people walk home and things are gone. No surgery needed anymore. Doctors come to him and send him their patients, and he's the only one.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You said something that is very valid, and sometimes we don't see it the way you just presented it, and that is when you have great gifts, a lot of times you're challenged, and as a kid we learn very early on that I don't like this, or how come me, or why do I have to play the piano over and over, etc., whatever it may be, to be that great prodigy. But one of the things is those challenges, and particularly right now as I watch this awakening going on all over the world, people are waking up, and the opportunities that they came into the body with are very available to them. But we're so used to not paying attention to our own internal guidance and reacting to the challenges of the outside that still many people, and I'm kind of talking to everybody listening, they miss the opportunity, the gift that comes with this awakening because we're still looking at externally. And again, what made this book so exciting just by touching it is the simplicity of drawing your attention back into that aligned natural guidance system is so easy with this piece of information. It's just mind-boggling to me how simple you've made this elegant body of work.
The thing is that I agree wholeheartedly. I see one aspect of this awakening of people to their real strengths and talents. One aspect of it is, of course, at the same time, they become frightened of it. It's as if they are handed some tool with very far-reaching powers, and they become frightened of it. Their environment becomes frightened of it, and that's among many reasons, but that's one of the reasons why so much pill popping goes on, to deafen those capacities. Our work is not only to just hand over simple tools to align yourself with what's there, with what's inside of you as a part of your nature and your calling, but also outside. Our nature just screams for aligning ourselves with her again, back again. And our work between the lines and sometimes directly, and you notice that, is our work is to spread the word encouragingly, to encourage people to take back responsibility. We are surrounded from almost every poster. We are surrounded by influences taking away from us responsibility for our lives.
Yeah.
And also taking away basic knowledge on how, for example, how to stay healthy. If you look around, dandelion is one of the most powerful healing herbs on this planet.
Yes.
Just eat 3 stalks of dandelion a day when the flower is open. That helps keep your liver healthy, no end. With the flower, you can make a great honey. With the leaves, you can make the best salad, having 10 times more vitamin C than a lemon. With the roots, you can make an elixir that keeps you healthy until the rest of your days. And see what's happening with dandelion? It's the devil.
Yes, it ruins my lawn. I need fertilizer and chemicals.
Right.
So get that thing out of here. I understand.
And that movement to deafen us and to take away responsibility from us, that movement is a direct reaction to the fact that this is the time where we can wake up much easier to what's real, what's there, we are meant for, than in any other time in history.
Yes, yeah. Let's take that.
Where there's much light, there's much darkness.
Yeah. Well, let me take that up even another octave here, because one of the things I'm becoming more and more aware of in where I get to play in that sleep space is when we went to sleep a long time ago, we had only a certain set of tools and knowledge. Now that we're waking up, the soul, the higher self aspect of you has a lot more tools and knowledge. They are much more simple and sophisticated at the same time. It's just going back into this natural alignment in the heart, that internal guidance system. The gifts that are being made available are knock your socks off. These are so wonderful gifts. And yet many of us, all of us, we still many times hear that word responsibility as an obligation. But if you just take it literally...
No. On the contrary, it's great joy. You go back on the bridge of your ship. You become the captain again that you were meant for in the first place. I mean, every child wants to be the captain of its own destiny, and then it's taken away piece by piece. In school, for example, you have to respect teachers who don't act respectfully towards you. You can demand respect only if you are a respectful person, and so many teachers are not. And that's a double message, but kids have to obey nevertheless. Unbelievable. This knowledge is totally simple. It's totally simple. When I look at for example, I didn't tell you, but when in 1991, when this Art of Timing was published, in the space of 8 years until 1999, the number of farmers in Austria and Germany switching from industrial and poisoning to organic and in tune with nature rose tenfold.
Wow.
Just because of that book.
Wow,
and
that's
it's
tremendous.
Totally simple. These tools are very simple and they're incredibly powerful. And I tell you, it took, to put it this way, it took the dark forces quite a bit of energy to keep that from us.
Yes.
But now not anymore.
Yeah. You know, again, that word responsibility is your ability to respond. And where we're now waking up, the ability to be impactful and creative and courageous is an exciting opportunity. That's what's happening all over the world, and it's happening very rapidly now.
Yeah, so that's what our work is, to remind people of the fact that this is a birthright. It's a birthright to be a human being and not one of those mental slaves that are being subject to all kinds of brainwashing. You need this, you need that, and so on. No, you can be the happiest person on earth with not much. Sufficient, just not much. From there, with this being happy with what is, and that's not much. There are so many adventures to be lived and to live through and to experience is unbelievable. Yeah.
Let me take advantage of something. I had one of the students send me an email today. It was a very clear email. It was, I love this work. I'm so excited. I don't want to do anything but sit in this spiritual space and do all of these things. and I have no money, I'm broke, and nothing is working for me in terms of money. My whole life has never had money. And it was a very interesting black and white, in terms of here's what I want and here's what I have. As I was reading this, I was taking a look at her energy, looking at these missing points in her compass, and the inability to recognize the simple fact that I'm entitled to having for myself.
Oh, yeah.
Her concept was, I want abundance, but there was no anchor that said I can be clear about what I wish to have, but I'm entitled to have for myself. That piece was not in her compass.
And very often it's not. Mm-hmm.
I've been writing emails back going, have you checked your south lately?
Yeah.
Then I have to expand on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Every one of us has a very specific, as you said a moment ago, birthright. Everybody's waking up into this, but understanding and having a little bit of very simple foundational awareness to then begin to operate from is going to open the ability to be powerful and commanding and capable and gracious as you deserve to be and have always been, but forgot. That's what I'm watching coming forth.
If you enjoyed this highlight from Conversations With, join Jim Self live on the Awakening Zone Network. That's awakeningzone.com. If you're looking for free tools for your personal and spiritual growth, if you want to be who you came here to be, visit masteringalchemy.com, where you can learn more about Jim, his work, and future guests. Our theme song is Hands of Love by Barry Goldstein. May you experience laughter and grace on your journey home.